Alright, let's get it. Hey slowpokes, it's First 101. Welcome back to World Building Wednesdays. This time we are messing around with verb tense, valency, and some more syntax stuff. So, to pick up where we left off, we were doing stuff with postpositions, right? Postpositions are, um, or rather, are adpositions, which we're using as postpositions are derived from verbs. So in order to say something is at or on or near, we're basically saying that it's staying at the place, right? Or to towards something, we use go because you're going at it. Or way, you're leaving it. Or you're performing the verb in such a way that you leave it. So our example, right? The person is at the river. So the person is at is the verb here. So the copula is the verb that we care about because it's talking about a state of being. But our auxiliary verbs, so see, make, this basically means cause to see, goes after our subordinate words. So by is the main one and to went comes after. The only difference here is that for postpositions go between the verb and the object. So say I went to buy soap, let's say. I went to buy soap. If we wanted to reformat it, this is currently SVO. If we wanted to reformat it into SOV, it would look something like I soap went to is the auxiliary here, right? Yeah. So buy is the main verb, went is the auxiliary verb, and to is the postposition. So I soap, buy is the main verb, to is the, oh wait, hold on. It would actually be this. I soap to buy went, because to goes between the object and the verb as a postposition, because this creates a postpositional phrase. Right? Hold on, let's break this down. So we've got our sentence. I went to buy soap. So we've got our noun phrase, that is I, or we'll just write this as 1P, the first person. Next, we have went to. That's a prepositional phrase, right? So we have a verb phrase that is went, and the actual preposition, which is to. Then by is the main verb phrase. Or rather, we write here the verb, and this is the object. So this is buy, this is soap. So, I don't know how to fully draw the tree. Actually, wait, hold on. I can, uh, frickin' hello? Is it working? Why is it not working? Why do you not do what I want you to? Okay. So, let's get thick. So we have our main, one sec. So I went to buy soap. Ignore my horrible handwriting, I'm drawing with a mouse. So, we've got our noun phrase. That's our subject. This is the first person pronoun I. So next, over here, we've got a verb phrase. This is broken down first. We have the prepositional phrase, or I should just say the prepositional phrase. And this actually breaks down into an aux verb. That being went. And the actual preposition itself, which is to. And then over here, you have the right? I think so. No, wait, hold on. This gets moved down here. This gets moved here. Then, right? Verb phrase. The actual verb itself is buy, and the object is soap. Then I don't know what to write here, so I'm just going to draw a smiley face. But I think this is pretty much how it breaks down. I went to buy soap. So that's great and all. But in a actual other thing, right? In SOV, it would break down to, so SOV. We need to have the noun phrase, that's the first person pronoun. Then our verb phrase, which is the OV, or our verb phrase, which breaks down to the verb and the object, which is the object first, then which is soap. Oh, wait. Hold on. Move this down one. We have the subject and the predicate. That's how that breaks down. So the subject is just the noun phrase of that. The predicate is the object and the verb phrase. The verb phrase is, we have the main verb construction, but then we have our prepositional phrase or postpositional phrase here, which this is actually the postposition itself, and then the auxiliary. Pretend you can read that. That says by, and then to, and then went. Yes, that's how that works. I apologize if that didn't make much sense to you guys, but that's pretty much what we're going through. Switch back to wonderful. Okay, so this would be I so no. That's not how that would work. What? Frickin' bring back my thing. No. Go back to paint. The postposition, how postpositions work is they go between the object and the verb. Right? Hold on. Frickin' okay. Positional phrase. Postpositional phrase. No, I did not mean. That just keeps showing prepositional phrase. Oh, I don't get this. Hmm. Okay, so basically, the way I have it here is the correct one. I soap to buy went. So, although we also have VSO word order, so um, postpositions don't work in that, right? You need prepositions. No, that's how that works. Okay. I spent 15 minutes of me mucking around just trying to figure this out. So, the way we have it, the subject Yeah, so subject, object, postposition, copula. The subject is preposition, the object. So the subject is on the object. The subject, object, or the subject, the object, on is. That's how we would write that. To use the postposition as its verb form, basically we have, instead of it meaning at or on, it just means stay. So the subject stays the object. Or leaves for the object. But the only thing there, right, is it's just it stay is intransitive noun or intransitive verb. Tortoise really ran out of budget, huh? Not even using Microsoft Word anymore. Freaking stay is an intransitive verb. So you can't stay the object. You can stay at the object, but stay means at. But not in that form. What? Holy moly, dude. So the only way for that to work is to valency change. So got a best score of 98 in What Beats Rock. Good job. Very important. I got to 50. You know, I'm calling that a win for me. So we can turn a transitive verb into an intransitive verb. An intransitive is a verb that can take an object, like frickin' I hurt you, right? I mean, I hurt also makes, okay, frickin' harvest, right? I harvest wheat. Just saying I harvest, okay, sure, but that's not really grammatical. An intransitive verb is something like yawn or stay. I stay, I yawn. That doesn't really have an object. So in order to turn a transitive verb into an intransitive verb, you do what's called a passive construction. Basically, I see you, right? But then by turning the verb like passively, you are seen, and then by me is sort of implied. Or you can specify it with other things. But that's how that works.
Sentence, an extra object if we want.
Right. Okay. So in order to turn an intransitive verb into a transitive verb, you use a causative construction. Or that's one way of doing it. So I see you, right? What did he say? I jump? Right. So I jump, that's absolutive verb, right? But making it causative, then I make you jump. Then that's ergative. That's I am now the subject and you are now the object. Wait, no, it's eat cow grass. Oh, what's VSO? Something like grass cow eat. No, yeah, eat cow grass. Verb subject object. You had it right. So the second person, you are now the object of that, and it's V, and then we need causative. Only difference is that in our syntax, the passive comes after the verb, and so does the causative. So I jump, right? That's grammatical. But this would actually be I, you, jump, make. Or you, see, is. Basically. So that's how we work around that. Only thing here is we have passive as an add position, right? So the verb and then passive. So yeah, we have it here, sleepgue. So the person is at the river. We have that written down. Hekir konos shengue. And then the person stays by the river. Is shen hekir konos. But unfortunately, that's not really what that means, because stay is an intransitive verb. And in order to stay by the river, you need an adpositional thing. Okay. So it's not shen hekir konos. It would just be shen hekir. But it wouldn't be hekir. It would be shen hokos. Because if this is how it was handled, then this would make no sense. These would have to be intransitive. But that raises the question. Is the only reason that they become the verbs become adpositions in the first place is because they were transitive? If I river stay, right? That gets reanalyzed to I am at the river. If it were an intransitive verb, there would be no river at all. It would just be I stay. So it would have to be transitive. But that's the thing, chat. We figured it out. Trust. What is the thing that I remember switching to your second? That's funny. What was it called? Frickin'
Status is an independent word.
Semantic bleaching. So basically, in the olden times, it was so stay was transitive, right? So I stay river. That's fine. So, but then, stay becomes a post position. So I am at river. But stay cannot mean stay and it's got to be one or the other. So what they do is stay becomes intransitive and at stays a post position. So this is the now. So I stay, and then I am at river. That's how those two are distinguished. So, and the passive construction, right? So if you were to, I am staying, or no, passive only works from transitive. So now for the intransitive, because stay is currently intransitive in the now era. So in order to make it transitive again, you need to have the causative form. So then the river causes me to stay. Right? Although it would be, yeah. So this is the natural evolution of these things. But we also have to take into account the way we handled that. The way we handled that is that the verb form, we used VSO because it's the same word. It's just it functions differently depending on context. So, Shen means stay in VSO means at in SOV. And then Shen is a transitive verb in is an intransitive verb in VSO is a transitive verb in SOV. That's how that works. You know, I wonder, do you think people who speak like Spanish have an easier time learning languages compared to English speakers? Because Spanish people already know gender-based words and they use the more common language order. Yes and no. The way that so English, Germanic languages as a whole are very complicated. English is one of the hardest languages to learn, right? So the way we handle things uses a lot more words than another language might handle things. So when you get into more complicated languages that use a lot of words to describe concepts, we use a lot of words to describe one thing that another language might use very few words. But that other language might use a lot of words to describe some other concept that we use few words for. So it balances out. Anything you can say in one language, you can say in another language. That's how languages work. The only difference is some concepts are easier to explain in one language than they are in another. And it's like that for every language. So it's not necessarily they'd have a harder time learning it. Languages that are more similar to your native language are going to be easier for you personally to learn than another. A Spanish-speaking person would have an easier time learning French than someone who speaks, let's say Hindi, right? Learning Arabic would be so much easier if you already knew Hebrew than it would be if you knew were English, right? It has to deal with like proximity in that sense. So, here's a big decision. Currently, the way we've been using it, right, is we use the copula for passive stuff, right? But I think that it in languages, right, you also get stuff for take. Can mean frickin', hold on. Let me find it. Verbs. Valency right here. So passive. Yeah.
Or just get rid of it. Verb that previously had from a number of different verbs.
Could be have, take, come, be. English uses be, the copula, but these other things are also equally likely. Now, for us, give and take is the same word, and we already, actually we don't already use it yet. Only difference is that they've got cultural significance for that for the Druidic exchanges, so I don't want to use that. But something like have, we're not using have for anything. Oh, no, yeah, we are. Have becomes the genitive. Frickin', well, come is an option. We don't have a word for that. So, this, whatever we make here is going to turn into the passive, and so we are going to have to come up with a new word for it anyway. So in that sense, we can just make up a passive auxiliary verb. Word initial consonants. We can use the velar nasal. Ng. And oh. Actually, what if we had a cool little so come as kat and go as tak. Sort of a nice little opposites kind of thing going on there. Which of course then becomes the passive. So it wouldn't be sleep gwe. It would be sleep kat. So I need to hold on. Move this over here. So copula. Then we will have passive, causative. So in order to form the copula, we will add to this we will this is gwe. And then for the passive, you will need to add kat. And for the causative, which is literally make or create cheddar. Or cheddar, I should say. Cheddar. Which of course then we will need to come up with something else to fill that spot. Right?
Status is an
So it needs a word to replace it. So take becomes a passive suffix, and then to get becomes to take. So from make becomes the causative. So we can have another word for instead of make, we could do something like carve. We got to figure out how they, like, what would turn into it, right? So, words to replace. We need a new word for to come, and we need a new word for to make. These got to come from somewhere. So, yeah. I think we've got to determine how they generally make stuff. They have access to um, technology like the yoke, axles, wheels, carts, and stuff. So perhaps another verb meaning to carve would become to make after make becomes the causative. And to I think that arrive replaces come because we've already got a word for that. So awesome. So we have to make a new word for make. And then this will also have the connotation of carving. So the new meaning of to come or arrive comes from paden. These just merge into one thing. And then this comes from to carve, and to carve, well, to draw on something is quam. So if we, in that sense, plowing is sort of like carving the land. So if we I don't want it to be Guam. If we were to Guaham, maybe? That works. That's a cool word, Guaham. It fits our phonotactics, sure, why not? So, now we've got some of this going on. Next, verb tense. So actually, to construct all of these things, the person is at the river. Yes, the person stays by the river. Although stay is now intransitive. So shen hokos. But if we wanted to pacify it, then we would simply add kat. And that goes after the verb. So shen kat hokos. And then that allows us to hekir and then river konos. Ah. Um, the person is at, but this is the person is staying. The river? No. What? That makes less sense. The person is staying. I see you becomes you are seen. Oh, no, we need the causative. The river causes the person to stay. Okay. So, causative is chedra, or cheder. Chedra. Um, and it's the river causing the person to stay. So it would actually be Canir, right? No. The river is inanimate, right? That's what we're going with. So Canil, and then Hokos. So it's river, and then this is inanim, right? And then person absolutive. Okay, okay. Final answer. Lock it in, Alex. The person is at the river, right? That's Hekir Konoshengue. The person is staying the river. Or rather, no, actually. The river causes ooh, the person to stay. Although I guess in like literally it would be stay cause river person, which is sort of silly. It's sort of like the exact opposite, but you know, we're chilling. Um right, yes, good. Okay. What next? Verb tense, verb tense. Now that we got oh, actually I want to um do this. Uh the person ooh, there's two spaces there actually. So the person is in the cave. And then the the cave is covering the person. So I feel like a similar thing would happen to a lot of these. The only difference is that inside is a passive construction. Right. Okay. So the person is in the cave. This is SOV form. Just like the person is at the river. So person, ergative, animate, cave, absolutive. And then copula. Right, because it's the subordinate verb. No, I mean it's the copula is the verb, but stay is the postposition. So it goes after the object rather than before the object like a preposition would. So the person is in the cave. That means that this has to go, right? Yeah, cover, passive, and then the copula. But the cave is covering the person. What? Oh no, the way we do this is the cave is causing the person to become, yeah. The cave causes the person to be covered. But at the same time, cover is a passive construction. So wait, hold on, wait. Why would I make that a passive unlike everything else? What? You are seen by me. So, in order for it to be a passive, cover is a transitive verb. I cover that, yes. But then we're making it an intransitive verb, which doesn't make sense because the whole reason it can become a postposition is because it is a transitive verb. So we have to, but okay. The thing is, if we just change it to cover, right? Why would that become inside when to cover would turn into be around? That doesn't make sense. I mean, I doubt anything I've said for the past 48 minutes has made sense, but that makes less. So what would actually be in something? Well, okay. Okay. Here's the deal, chat. We'll have just cover, right? This will mean around. But when something is around another thing, it causes that other thing to be in it. Right? If the fire is around me, I am in the fire. That's just how that works. So, this will be either around or inside. Nope, that's dumb. Okay. Fire is around me. I am in the fire. So, if I just say the person or the person is in the fire. The only difference here is which is which, right? Although, fire being ergative versus being absolutive. No, that doesn't make sense. Hmm. In order for this to work, don't worry, Taurus, I've been listening to your gibberish since Slay the Spire, and I'm now able to understand 90% of it. He is fluent in Tortoisese. Holy moly. Blessed by Gilbert to speak the tongue of the tortoise. Frickin'. Well, one way I could handle this, right, is to have around / in mark the person, right? So, one form it would say that the fire is the object. That doesn't make sense. They'd have to be two different words. But they can derive from the same thing. So maybe if we have the instrumental case, right? So the person is in the fire, and the fire is around the person. So the person is covered by means of fire. The fire surrounds. Okay. Okay. Here's how this works. So we can take a transitive verb. So a subject, transitive verb, object, right? And we can make it so that the object intransitive verb, but through the passive construction, right? Oh wait, yeah, I see you to you are seen. And then we can add on another object through the instrumental case. So, instrumental subject. Yeah. So, okay. How do I apply this? Because this basically turns the intransitive verb that we just made into... But wait, isn't that the only way that the instrumental case would work? It's another way to... So, you know how we went on this whole spiel about how this is how that could stay? They could be an intransitive verb or a transitive verb. If I stay at the river, it could be the same as me saying I stay by means of the river. Actually, no, that would be a different thing. Because I stay at the river and I stay by means of the river mean two different things. I stay by means of the river is like I'm too ensconced in river in order to do anything but stay. Or that I'm using the river as an instrument to perform the act of staying. Whereas I stay at the river is talking about a location in which the staying occurs, that being the river. However, the way to talk about someone being on fire, swear to God, this better not be a draft. There's a very good chance that I could get 3 languages in and then decide to rip it all up. I did it the last time. And unfortunately for us, I cannot just work on this instead of doing homework. Because I am no longer in high school. So I don't have anything to procrastinate to do this instead. So this is now just a thing I'm actively doing. But hold on. Anyway, the way that we handle this, right? The person is covered by means of fire, but the fire is around the person. Right? So fire is still like the head honcho here. And the person, this would still be considered absolutive. Right? Wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a couple sentences. So a transitive sentence, that's not how you spell that. Transitive sentence looks something like this. Ergative subject, absolutive object, verb. Transitive verb. An intransitive sentence looks something like this. The absolutive subject and the intransitive verb. But we can have a third construction. This is what is known as, we can have a passive voice. So an intransitive sentence in the passive voice may look something like the absolutive object. So hold on. The ergative subject, absolutive object, right? This is the absolutive subject. But in the passive voice, we would have and then this is to show that the transitive sentence, okay. So we can turn a transitive sentence into an intransitive sentence through the passive voice. So this is the absolutive object now. The intransitive verb and the passive marker, right? A a sentence in the passive voice can then become a transitive sentence again. So, I will call this the instrumental voice. So we have the absolutive, still the object, the intransitive verb, the passive marker, and then we have the original subject, but it's the instrumental. So basically, and then for causative, the would be the intransitive, right? Um, we would then have an ergative object here, then the um the transitive verb, the causative, and then the what was originally the absolutive subject here. Okay, new changes. Now I understand 80%. All right. Let me write up the whole thing just so you can see how it works. This I like this syntax thing we've got going on. Let me just put this in bold. There we go. So, the person sees the animal. I'm actually just gonna write this out. Person, animal, sees, or person, animal, see, right? So this is person, ergative, animate, animal, absolutive, see. Which turns into, we have it up here, Hakir modos pet. So Hakir modos pet. This is a transitive sentence. Okay. Next, we have the intransitive sentence. I will also put this in bold. We can write this as the person dies. The person sees the animal. And then this is literally person, animal, see. The person dies, right? So person, absolutive, die. So that is hokos hitom. Literally, person die. So we can turn the transitive sentence into the passive voice. This is done by doing all of that passive stuff that we were talking about earlier. it turns the transitive verb see into the intransitive seen, like you are seen. So the person is seen, or sorry, the animal is seen. Is seen. Oh my god, it's Tortoise 101. It is. Welcome. Please notice me. You it's very easy to when I have a grand total of 2 people in my chat. He's locked in. Also, it's super duper difficult to not notice you because you spelled out my name and it's in bright orange on my screen. 3 now. Wonderful. Awesome. The animal is seen. Freaking, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So this would be, if you're just tuning in, we're making a language. Animal, this is the absolutive form because it's the intransitive verb. See, and then passive. So the passive marker. Now this, the animal here, is referring to the same animal in the transitive sentence. You gotta understand, this was the object of the original sentence. Alright, gonna go now, bother your brother. For real. So this is modos pet cat. Modos pet cat. Right. See you Sunday for real. Which, okay, this literally translates to animal see, and then cut came from the passive, yeah. What did we write it? What was it originally? Alright. Over here, the causative voice, that's turning this intransitive sentence into a transitive-like form. We have we need something that causes the person to die. We can right here by the person. The person dies because of, we'll just say the animal. So now, here, we lost the subject, right? But here, we gain an object, if that makes sense. Or I guess we gain a new subject, and it causes this person to become the new object. Basically, what this is going to be, the animal causes the person to die. Basically, the animal kills the person. So, this is animal, animate, frick. Ergative comes first. Animal, ergative, animate, person, absolutive. This is die, and then this is cause. So now, this is Mekir, Hokos, Hitom, and Cheder. or literally animal, person, die, make. You can see how these two sort of turn into another. And then this new thing, the instrumental voice. We bring back this the by the person thing that we lost. So we have the absolutive animal. So animal absolutive C passive, but now we have the instrumental noun. So this is person instrumental, or by means of the person, right? So this person is the same person that was the original subject of the transitive sentence. So this would be modos pet cat. Oh, actually no. That goes here. So this is, what is the hlukik? So modus hlukik pet cat. Or literally animal by means of person C come. So I hope that this makes literally any more sense than it did before. But that's pretty much how it works. That's our this is basically our syntax cheat sheet here. This is how all of the sentences can change. So the person sees the animal, the person is seen, or sorry, the animal is seen, and then the, actually, animal is seen by the person. Although that leads sort of an opening for the causative voice to turn into something as well, right? So I think that both the causative and the passive voice can become an instrumental, but they take on different forms, right? Would they? This would be the animal, yeah, animal dies because of the person. So this sort of combines the passive and causative together. So Animal, ergative, animate. Well, this is... Okay, so basically, how we get here, is the causative voice is a type of transitive sentence. And so now you're allowed to run it through the passive voice and instrumental voice as well. But turning the causative voice into the passive voice sort of makes it a resultative in a sense. So is that what we write? Resultative voice. This is silly. This is a silly thing we're doing. We have a little fun on the Tortoise 101 YouTube channel. Is this bold? Yeah, this is bold. Okay. Doesn't really do much, but so now right. This is a silly thing. So we now have we turn this into the passive voice because wait, right? Because the original subject becomes the object in the causative voice. And because the object of a transitive sentence becomes the subject of the passive voice, then the original subject of the intransitive sentence becomes the subject again in the resultative voice. This is some the scholars of this world are going to have a field day with this one when they discover it. But basically, would it be ergative again? No. No, it would still be absolutive because it's a passive sentence now. Frickin' heck, man. So we have that. Um but it's causative. What? So it's both passive and causative at the same time, right? Because the animal dies. The person dies because of the animal. Or rather, the person dies by means of an animal. That's what the instrumental's for. Because the animal is seen by means of the person. So it would be it would cause okay. It's another type of instrumental, but now it's sillier. Can you add what order would they go in? I think it would be causative passive because that's the sort of order of operations that we're doing here. So the the person dies because of the animal. Because well, the person is now the subject again. So it's person absolutive die No, it's person absolutive because now we've got the animal instrument. Fricking what? Die, causative, passive. This is getting absurd. So now we've got Hokos, Mladik, Hokos Mladik, Hitom, Chedre, Kat, Chedre Kat. That was a doozy. Okay. But if you think about it, that's how the word because came about. It's the passive and causative. It's just we're handling that with instrumental stuff here. So this literally means person by means of animal. Die, make, and there we go. We've got 6 flavors of sentence. This is so wild. Okay. But now that we've got that, we can make whatever kind of sentence we want. And the reason we did that is to justify this. Okay. Oh shoot, you know what? We need to do it. Oh, we need to do it with VSO word order too. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. VSO word order, verb emphasis. We've gotta move this down. Okay. This is all SOV. So now we need to do it all again, but in VSO, because it says to stop hogging the Wi-Fi. I do what I want. Right. So I can copy all of this over. But I have to change this around. He says, "Is that a challenge?" No. I'm simply the adult between the two of us. Oh, speaking of, I need to move this instrumental over here. And then same biz here. Right? Did I wrote all that? Yeah. Okay. He says, "What's that supposed to mean, old man?" It means I can do whatever I want because between the two of us, I'm the adult. I thought I was being very clear about this. Listen, I'm not gonna beef with my little bro with you as the middleman. If he wants to beef, he can come here and lose himself. He knows that's the case. That's why he's not here yet. Okay. So now we just have to copy this. Oh, shoot. I need to move all this way down. Kind of AFK, what's going on in chat? My little brother's friend is talking to my little brother right now, who's just in the other room, and he's trying to pick a fight with me. And it's not working because I'd win. And both of them know it. Yeah, so now we just got to redo all of this, but in VSO order. So this can be easily done. So that's why Max is talking about your brother. Yes. He's all talk, though. Oh, lord, he coming. What have I done? Whatever I want. That's... I've been very clear about this. All I've done is hog the Wi-Fi. Does he know about the mommy allegations? No, we're not doing this. Nope, we're not. I refuse to engage with this. This tomfoolery happening. Mommy allegations. Exactly. Just stay that way. Just that's all you you summoned me. Y'all are wild. Okay. So, we've got the SOV sentence, I guess, flowchart is a good way of saying it. And now we have the VSO order. We have the VSO order for verb emphasis. So if you really needed to emphasize the verb in a sentence, you just put it first. So the person sees the animal, and so Hekir modos pet and pet Hekir modos are equivalent, but for this one it's like pet Hekir modos. Oh, and then I need to and then copy this over. Right? Yes. Okay, cool. So, Hokos mladik hitom cheddar. Sorry, cheddar. Wait. Wow, my brain just died for a second. One moment. Hokos mladik hitom cheddar kat is And then for the verb emphasis, hitom cheddar kat holos mlilik. Cool. So now we can talk about the fires around the person and the person covered passive. I'm going to time you guys out for spamming. Knock it off. You come into my house and tell me how to rearrange my furniture? If I had half a mind, I'd put you on the roof. This isn't your house. Dog, my turtle would have something to say about that. Turtle 202. You don't own the house that you live in? See, that's the thing. There's a difference between alienable possession and inalienable possession. Alienable possessions are things that can be removed from you, i.e., my phone. But inalienable possessions are something that your possession in relation to isn't like changeable. So, my dad. I cannot just go down to the dad store and get a new dad, or simply reject the dad that I have on the basis, because the whole my thing is talking about my relation to my dad. Rather, this is talking about the possession to my phone. So when I say my house, right, I am talking about an inalienable possession, as in my relation to the house that I'm currently in, rather than my possession of the house specifically. What am I yapping about? Dude, this is the Yap channel. The whole point of Worldbuilding Wednesdays is for me, every Wednesday, to just talk BS about whatever nerd stuff I'm going on about for 2 hours straight. You clicked on the video. You chose this. Dog. I'm gonna punch you in your kidneys. You're gonna DDoS me. Yeah. Okay. I'm bored of you. Yeah. Can I... Did it work? Am I allowed to... Hold on. 1 second. The untimeoutable. Yeah, whatever, bud. Okay. Yeah, I know to the max IRL, and he thinks that that is like good enough for me to not do anything. He's a silly little guy. He's so silly. He's just a little silly fool. A silly fool is what he is. Um so yeah, now that there's some peace and quiet, we can get back to me hogging all of the Wi-Fi and the attention. So the fire is around the person. I think that's talking. This is one of those call you fool. I have okay. We're not doing this, dude. Can you just chill out, please. I'm getting exhausted. Fine. You are gonna go though. I appreciate, man. Glad to have you here, but you're being obnoxious. And that's not cool. You know? Um Frickin' make sure to come back next week though. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the bell. Frickin', where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Man, I'm tired. Okay. So, we were talking about the person is in the cave. Back to this whole fire thing. So, the fire is around the person. So, fire, this is ergative. Is fire animate here? Do we consider fire animate in this context? If the fire was like blazing through a like a forest fire, right? Then maybe that was inanimate. But if some guy just got like accidentally set on fire, I think we'll consider this inanimate for now. Just for this. And then person, this is absolutive. And this is cover, right? Or this is around. Oh, right. We're still doing this. We get to keep this evolution because we have this evolution in transitive stuff. So we're using SOV. So it means around. But if we wanted to make it mean cover, then we would use VSO. That can still function. I mean, it could have always been different variations based on context. Yeah. That's the point of it, is that it's not like fire is always animate or always inanimate. You get to choose between like, hey, is this fire more animate or inanimate in this sense? The big thing that I have with this system is the consideratives. Or considerative nouns, right? Because how can you give the sun or give the moon or give a cave or give a river, stuff like that. And also the verb to have, osh, because it turns into the genitive. So it can maybe like come from lore. We'll figure that out now. I'm in the middle of a sentence. And then this is the copula because it's the copular construction that we talked about over here with the river. So, fire, ergative, inanimate. Fire, ergative, inanimate noun. That's ebelil. Ebelil. Person, absolutive, that's hokos. Around, sleep. Way. So now the person is covered by means of fire. Remember, some tribe uses an addition to a sentence based on if they saw it happen from word of mouth. Like, yeah. That's verbal mood. Um, specifically you're referencing evidential mood. Like, did I see it firsthand? Did I hear it from somewhere? Um, was it a reliable source or a non-reliable source? That is going to be more important in the fairy languages because they're all about very specific conveying of information to achieve what they want because they're bound by their promises. These guys, the humans, they're just sort of talking about the world that they live in. The most they have right now is the druidic exchanges and the considerative stuff. So, the person is covered by fire. So, if we had this, in order for it to function as a verb, it's got to be VSO. And it's the instrumental voice. So, it follows the object, the subject, the intransitive, the passive. Okay. So, the person, absolutive, the fire, instrumental, and then the intransitive verb is to cover. Oh no, cover is a transitive verb. Oh, no, it's not. It's intransitive now. But that doesn't make sense from cover. What? Like stuff with stay, right? That makes sense. I stay. And then in order to say, like, I stay someplace, I stay at that place, you know? But cover, I cover something. It's not I cover around that thing. But who knows? Actually, you know what? These guys can interpret it however they want. Cover, in this language, is an intransitive verb, and we've got to treat it as such, because this is the... Oh, sorry. This is the sort of progression of these rules that happens. So, it's an intransitive verb, and thus it needs to have the passive. So, it's got the passive auxiliary verb that comes after, of course. So, cover, passive, person, fire. Yep, that's good. Yeah, because in this sense, the person is covered. Right? The person is covered. This is a correct sentence. This is allowed. And the only thing that changes it to the instrumental voice is the addition of fire instrumental. Source keeps forgetting he's the god of this world and can add his own rules to the language. Yeah, well, I want it to be realistic, right? I gotta know the rules in order to break the rules. I can do whatever I want, and what I want is to do what other people have done, you know? So, this is sleep, cut, or sorry, cut. I keep aspirating the final T. Person absolutive, that's hokos. Fire instrumental. Lebelik. So, okay. Here's what we got. This roughly translates to the fire is around the person. And this one is the person is covered by fire. There we go. And the reason I'm handling it this way is because in one language family, we can handle the instrumental case being used this way as it turning into sort of an agent form. And the reason that I want to have the VSO word order, optional word order, is because in another language that branches off, it can become like permanent, this is the new word order. So to add variety between the honestly fairly limited language family, you know? But we're doing pretty good. We've got about 15 minutes left, which is probably enough time to talk about verb tense. Um, at, on, near, towards, away, around. Oh, and then towards go. We need to actually. Oh no, you know what? We don't. Because they still function as verbs in VSO word order. Right. I forgot. We don't need to make new ones like we did for these guys. Right. So this is plus shen. This is plus tak. This is plus erad. This is plus sleep. Okay. And the reason I say plus is because these are auxiliary verbs. These ones are postpositions, but those are a type of auxiliary verbs. If it were actually a suffix, I would write this to show that it was a suffix, but that's not the case. Okay. So now I can talk about these two. The person is in the cave. Or rather, I need to say the cave is around the person. The cave is around the person. So it's not passive, it's just the copular form. Is the ergative. This is inanimate, definitely. Inanim. Then person, absolutive, cover, right? So cave, ergative, inanimate is quebaril. Quebaril. And then Hokos, freaking around sleep. And then the copula, that's Gwe. Cool. Next, the cave covers the person. this would be, well, it needs cover, so this is our indication that, no, shut up, stop. This is our indication that we need to use the VSO word order. So cover, that's sleep. And now we can just write but it's intransitive. So now it needs the, oh wait, what? Cave covers the person. No, this is the cave causes the person to be covered, right? No. Gosh, man, 2 hours in, my brain is fried. This is the exact same construction as this one. So the person is covered by the cave. Was gone for a bit. I guess you didn't miss much. Not really. I'm applying what we just established. So this is how the fire is around the person, and then this is the person is covered by fire. That's how these two verbs work. And I'm just doing the same thing, like the person is in the cave. So it wouldn't say the person is in the cave, rather the cave is around the person, or the person is covered by the cave. So sleep. This is a passive construction this time. And it's the person absolutive and the cave instrumental. So sleep kat hokos cave instrumental form klebarik, right? Klebarik. Very awesome. Cool. Now we gotta do tense. The last little bit. So in English, we have a past tense and technically a non-past. But we're gonna call that the present. We don't really have a future. So past, right? That's generally handled by the suffix ed, but there are exceptions. For the present, it's generally unmarked. But for the future, we usually add will, like the auxiliary verb will. Du bear 8. Yeah. So the way I want to handle this in this language, I don't want to have a future tense or really a past tense. I want this to be marked by, so instead of saying I went to the park, I want this to be I go park yesterday. Kind of like how it's handled in Mandarin. The only difference is I want to mark for a perfect, a perfective, and an imperfective aspect. So what that means is I goed to the park yesterday, and so I went to the park essentially. I go to the park, or I am going park. So perfective are verbs that have already completed, right? But imperfective verbs are verbs that are not complete yet. I need to look up infinitive because I still don't understand the infinitive. Without an inflection binding it to a particular subject or tense. Let him see. Okay. To love, to eat, to run, to believe. Existing in many non-finite verbs as... Well, I know that it has two, right? So is it just like the bland form, I guess? Okay. Anyway. So, I want to mark for these. Present tense does not get marked. This is the only distinction that I want to have, a perfective, imperfective. And I want this to be handled via auxiliary verbs. Hmm. But what verbs do I use? Oh, I know. For the imperfective, I can add the word act. So, what's... And then for the perfective, I can... It's actually more common for the perfective to be marked than anything. And then the imperfective is unmarked. But I can have that be handled by finish, right? So this will be ep10. I'm running out of time here. But that means that finish needs another thing. So it can come from ep10, but then arrive can also fill the role of finish. Because when you arrive at your destination, your journey is finished. And they move around a lot, so that's fine. So I'm gonna just... And then this is from old... Oh, frick, this was... From old come. This is from old make. This is from stay, from go, from leave, from cover. The reason I don't want it to be a formula is because I want to be able to edit this stuff later, like the actual text itself. I'm not just inputting raw data. And then this comes from old finish. And this actually comes from current act. Which can be used as a verb, but it can also be used as other things. And I want it to stay being able to use act as a verb, especially because of the considerative constructions, which I also should probably add to this. Right. Okay. So that's all fine. But I also need words now for tomorrow and today. Uh, Tomorrow, today, and then yesterday. So away day, towards day. We have a word for day, right? We need a word for day. I know we're at 2 hours, but this can be like the last thing we do, you know? Just finishing this up. So day, night, for root, I kind of want to have it a mix between sun and sky. Just one more word. Listen, frickin', what was it? Switching to your secondary word is quicker than rephrasing. And then I will have that. And then for night, actually, wrong. Gwis, and then moon, lone. Okay. So, animate is Gwesir, Gwesil, Gwosos. Just making sure that I don't have that already. Alright. For genitive, this is Osh. Right? Oshkwas. Is that allowed? Reconnection successful. Okay. So this is just Ogwas. Instrumental, this is Gwillis. It would be Gwillisik. Yeah. Following L. Oh, that's following. Okay. No. This is Gusleek. And then this isn't allowed. So I don't know how to handle that. I will have to come back to that later. I'll just mark it in red for now. Considerative form. This is worse lore. Adjective. Guisier. Guisil. Gusos. And Guslor. Lewinier. Lewinil. Lonos. Sus. Genitive is Oshlawin. Right? Yeah, Oshlawin. That's allowed, right? Yes. Oshlon. Instrumental is uh Lwinique. That's silly. Considerative is Lrwnlor. That is 5 consonants in a row. Lure. Lure. Sure. At least that's something completely different for a second. Nah. Lewinier. Lewinil. Lwinos. Lore. Okay. So tomorrow, as in next, although I should probably have specific words for this and next. You know, I'm gonna call it there. I think I'm gonna pass out, actually. I'm getting lightheaded. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Give me attention. Ring the bell. Bye to Gilbert. I stream 3 days a week. I'm gonna get a job soon, so I'm gonna stream less, but I'll figure it out. Have a good one, guys.